Well, happy Mother's Day, everyone. Hey, it's Shooter Scott Henderson. Just going to go over swing trade notes. Of course, please review our disclosures at the end of this presentation. All right, let's jump right into this. Literally had one stock come up in my scans, which is never a good sign. All right, so we're looking at May 12th through 16th, folks. Last week, considering, we did a great job at picking the stocks. However, we could have done a much better job at trading them. Now, just talking about this, we have OKL earnings this week, so I don't know that I would hold because I think Tuesday we get a little bit of a turnaround, so you're profit taking. I'd probably take profits on pins. The one I probably would hold from last week is Boeing's and, of course, HIMS. And let me just go into HIMS for a second. And, our performance last week was mediocre. Didn't really have a lot on to speak about. TQQ, we didn't roll over like we expected, so we took a little hit on that and sounded. So, in a nutshell, we ended up about $6 up for the week per contract. Now, note my goals have changed here a little bit, and I might change this out of summer, but between now and the end of summer, game plan is 3 to 5% a week, folks. That's it. Just a slow grind, get my piece, spend as little time trading as I can, come in for a couple hours, get it done, and I'm done, kind of thing. So you will see more strategic trades like what I did last week on HIMS. I basically bought common shares after I closed my profit position, that last block, for a 200% gain, equal to, I think it was like 26% of what my overall gain was for the shares. Then I turned right around and I sold January 26. $60 calls for roughly 13 something a contract. So if the shares get taken to me, that's game plan. I want shares to get taken from me because I earned $23 a share, which is over a 40% annualized. No brainer as far as I'm concerned. Okay. If I get below like 50% into my cost basis, which is roughly $39.84, meaning we get to $40 a share, I might start hedging and buying some puts. But I'm not convinced that I'm going to do that, but that's the game. All right, so that's sort of my mindset. I wanted to jump back up and then look at my VIX image here. Get that as big as I can on the screen. And forgive me, when I clicked the image of this, I got this off Twitter. So my apologies. The intent was not to circumvent you because great post. So if we look at historically, when the VIX has fallen 5 straight weeks in a row, we get these kind of rallies. Note, after 1 year, between 13 and 47%. Now, this makes me look at the overall visuals here where we've had these pumps. Look at these runs running into this. So I would say once we find our bottom, now I'm looking for a reason to get flat, I should say, where I have some conviction in certain names. So I want a diverging higher low we don't have in the index, or I want a flush to take this out. And then I'm going to be interested in building back some long position. At that point, it might not happen till October, but that's the game plan. That's what I'm looking. That's the structure I want. And I thought this was a great way to reflect. All right, let's look at earnings this week, what we have coming up. JD is basically the biggest thing. I like AST, Space Mobile, and we've had a lot of share purchases, but I don't see the income yet. I may be wrong for not chasing that for that reason, but just my mindset where I am going into the 5th month of the year, P&L, everything else, I want high risk reward trades. So JD beats, I'm now looking at BABA. However, it's not in swing trade notes. I'll post that in chat. Now, at the same time, we have OKLO, which we had long from one of the prior articles. I don't remember which one. I would take profits before earnings. I wouldn't hold half like you did with PIT. That's not what I'm going to, typically I don't like to do that. I like to cover out before. I'm a before earnings kind of guy. I don't like running into earnings. I just take too many hits. SoundHound was a great example of that last week. It just didn't work and it was done. You got no time to recover from that. So me, I don't like taking those unknown hits. I like calculated. If I'm going to take a loss, hey, it's going to be based on the law of averages. I take 100 trades, 33 are going to win, 33 are going to lose, 33 are going to be flat. I can calculate what my risk reward is going to be. That's the kind of trader I am. All right. I like AMAT, but I'm probably not going to take it. I also like Kava, but I'm probably not going to take it. And DIR is possibly a short for me. But again, I don't have a lot of conviction here. We're not going to get long yet. I want those lows. Another one that stood out was SMCI. with a potential 13.9% gain. Now, I'm trying to get sold on doing that. Again, that is not in this week's swing trade notes. We had 2 victims this week because I like the charts. That's it. Unless it's a high risk reward, I'm personally not going with it. If you guys have any questions about charts, by all means, you want to take on that risk, you're welcome to. Show me the chart. I'll tell you what I think. All right. So we break above this roughly $37. CELH is long to $45 for me. However, 50% back on the entire cycle measures to 64, and our B measures to $69 for 50% back, or 61.850, excuse me. So at this point, I think it's a pretty solid trade. Stick 40. I don't know that I would even do 45. I think I would stick with $40 June and maybe some May $40, maybe even 45 June. But that's what I would stick to. Now Tesla is my main interest because of the FOMO. It's all over the web, guys. It is. Videos galore. It's the highest traffic right now on the internet the entire weekend. Started Thursday, this thesis that we're going to take a company who makes $7,000 profit per Tesla, manufacturing them, is going to convert that to $40,000 per car a year with robotaxi. It's hyperbole. It's punk, guys. It's FOMO. Hey, but guess what? I'm biting. I like it, all right? I think we got a shot at 350 here with everything in the market. I'll take that risk with Tesla going into this week. Well, that's my 2 cents, folks. That's what I have for this week. Short and sweet. Again, happy Mother's Day to all those mothers out there. And any of you, please like and share my videos. And of course, if you're not in fundamental trends as a member, we'd love to have you. Great trading. Until next time.